Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has asserted that opposition parties failed to win the February 25 presidential election because of overconfidence, complacency, and bad tactical moves. According to Garba Shehu, the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Buhari said they were already telling their foreign backers that they would defeat APC, whereas the ruling party blended confidence with caution, worked hard, and won the presidential. The president charged the all progressive Congress governors, that's the progressive governors, to stick together and openly address issues among themselves. Wow, President Buhari coming all out here to tell us what some of us did not know about the last election, that some of these parties were already telling their foreign backers that they had foreign backers, yes, that they would defeat APC.
You know,
whereas the ruling party,
you know, the president said they were overconfident. I think to a large extent he was right.
Yes.
I expected the opposition to sacrifice and defeat the APC. I've seen it done in many African countries. Opposition comes together to wrest power.
That's what APC did in 2015.
Eh? No, these ones came together. There's a difference in that. These ones, in 2015, they came together to form a party. The parties will be there. What I'm talking about. It's not as if they come together to form a party. No.
Alliance.
Alliance.
Like the one or your state that brought him out today?
You know,
coalition.
You just work together.
Yes.
I've seen in some African countries where they took power by those parties agreeing to work together. In this case, everybody thought it could defeat the
APC,
the ruling party.
Yes.
It's such a shame that Peter Obi and Kwankwaso could not come together
for that alliance.
Yes. Even if the time, even if it was too late for them to merge as a party,
formally,
by law, it was too late. But they could work together.
Working arrangements.
In some of those African countries that I'm talking about where this has happened, they didn't have to march officially the way APC did in 2014. No. But they agreed to work together. That, look, this is what we are going. We see even in Nigeria, in governorship election, we see them do it now.
Yeah.
The understanding will be there that, okay, in this election, this is the party that we will go to. Everybody will go in that direction. It happens. But these people are too selfish, too hungry for power that they refuse to work together.
Everybody wanted to have a say.
Kwankwaso, when they even asked Kwankwaso in the UK, what's that place? Chatham House. He even got angry. When they asked him, why is he not working with Peter Obi to remove the APC from power, he got angry. Go and listen to that thing again. I'm like, this is not enough to get angry now. Abba.
He said he's older. He said he was more experienced and everything. And at the end of the day, he was able to prove that he's the kingpin of Kano.
Yes. He limited himself to Kano.
And
we give him
part of people.
You can imagine if he worked with Peter Obi, for example, if they came together, it would have been higher. Because Obi supporters would know that they are all voting.
Yes, and everywhere.
You know, so then some of the votes that were wasted, literally wasted, that went to Kwankwaso in some states, like Jigawa, you know, like Taraba, they will have gone to the Obi Kwankwaso ticket. I was thinking that there was a smoking gun there. I was thinking that it could happen. But somehow, I guess, who I cannot agree to be vice presidential candidate to anyone. Look, you too. If you will not agree to be vice presidential candidate, me too. I will not agree to be. This is what led to this whole thing. You look at Atiku. Atiku never campaigned even close to the level that Tinubu campaigned. Yep. The places Tinubu visited Nigeria. He has visited. He has visited them. How can I call that word? In terms of the number of states he visited,
the frequency. Look at the time he went to Kano.
He trumped
the number
them.
Of time.
Yes. In Kano, he must have gone to Kano like 4 times.
It was just.
He trumped them in terms of the number of Nigerian cities that he visited. If you are desperate for power, should the candidate of the ruling party be campaigning more than you? Be outdoing,
so visible, so hardworking, town hall meeting.
He flogged his body thoroughly. Now, when you look at what the president was saying, when you look at what transpired, if Obi and had worked together,
oh no,
that's 14 million votes.
Oh, that would have been a
14 million votes would have thoroughly defeated Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Straight up.
They were not prepared to do that.
Straight up.
The only reason Atiku didn't win this election, was because Obi contested.
Yep.
Because all of those places that Obi won, there is not one of those states that PDP was not traditionally winning. None. You go to Kaduna, where he did well, they got 21% in Kaduna. Where he did well is the usual stronghold of the PDP. He won Plateau. Plateau has always been a PDP state. Always. In fact, they've always won the presidential election in Plateau. PDP has always won it. You know? Why did Lalong win? Was it not because of quarrel?
Yes. Jang went to go and bring his son-in-law.
He said, look, you can't impose him. So let's face it, it is Atiku's votes that Obi took away. PDP used to win the election in FCT. Aduda is the sitting senator there. He's from the PDP. So it's not new. There is nowhere, I repeat, nowhere that, what's it called? That the PDP, the bulk of, I think apart from Lagos. But even then, I won't even say apart from Lagos, because PDP has won Lagos before.
Yes.
PDP won Lagos in 2011.
For Jonathan. Yeah.
For Jonathan. So it's not even, so there's nowhere that Obi won that the PDP has not won before. That is a fact. Now, if they had worked together, Ayo, that's 14 million votes. That's what the president was saying directly.
Simple.
And when he was talking about, maybe that they were overconfident and that they were assuring, when he was talking about foreign backers, all those people doing opinion poll,
yes,
and saying that Obi would defeat Kwankwaso in Kano. What were those ones smoking? Obi will defeat Kwankwaso in Kano. Look at the percentage they gave him. One day we will talk about those opinion polls one after another. You know? So they could have done better. I think, Ayo, do you know that? When they say, this election, do you know that in Kaduna, only one local government, the whole of Kaduna state? Do you know the local government in one? Gwari. That was the local government visited that night. That people said, you risk your life to come, even the traditional ruler.
Dangerous place.
Yes. That's the only local government in one in the state. And you are still saying the election is bad. The election is the candidate of the ruling party with the governor of Kaduna there. Now, so Tinubu only won one local government.
Convincingly.
Yes. Others, no way. You know, so it's I think in future opposition parties must brush aside their selfishness and be able to say, look, we want to take over. No sacrifice too big to make. So in future we should be able to see someone like Obi saying, okay, I step down. Or Kwankwaso, who eventually won only one state, to say, look, you are stronger than me. You have capacity to do better than me. I consider I will be your deputy. It should happen.
Looking at what Mr. President said, his analysis, do you agree with?
Yes, Jide has already talking about the overconfidence part. So I'll take the complacency. Basically, and that's key to what really happened. Because no serious party going to an election will allow 5 of his governors to be frontal in the attack on the party's candidates. And that to me is a sign of complacency. 5 governors decided to fight.
I just got court injunction after the election to vacate that position pending the time. Can you imagine something that
you will have worked long ago and still have the decency around the party's candidate. Of course, the party's candidate itself is flawed because it's a full animal trying to deliver a full animal in a multi-ethnic nationality like Nigeria. But having said that, they still will have won if they have not decided that they can do without certain parts of the country and they can do without certain governors. And this to me is one of the reasons why they failed. Because if you look at what happened in Oyo State, Oyo State is a PDP state. The governor is a PDP man. But on the day of the election, Tinubu won and his party won convincingly across board. Across board. Yes. In some states, the president candidate will lose. The senator will win. Will get 36,000 votes. The president candidate will get 16,000 votes. But in Oyo State, it was total and comprehensive. Imagine Sheyi Makinde working for an Atiku.
Yes.
At that point in time.
They didn't handle their crisis well.
So it is the complacency of assuming that APC is bad, the money policy was bad, people are hurting, people are suffering. All the indicators.
No, that even whether Wiki and others work with me or not, I'm going to win.
Yeah,
I think that's the complacency.
So
that is complacency. Yes.
So that's complacency.
And that shows that, look, that kind of thing Atiku shouldn't have even
an election year
at all.
Not an election that is competitive. You are talking about the election.
You lost Benue, Rivers, Enugu, what's the name of that? Abia, and Oyo. Are you deliver for Atiku?
Nothing. I think if they should have resolved those
a serious party,
to learn from history. PDP faced a similar problem. 2015, and they lost power. You can't allow governors to go.
When Governor Wamako, the governor of Kwara State,
yes,
the governor of Rivers.
There are 5 of them too at that point in time.
Yes.
5 governors and some prominent guys, the likes of Atiku Abubakar and people, they walked out of the National Convention.
Yes.
And that was the end of the party.
Even the Jigawa party, the Jigawa governor.
Although
he didn't leave the party, but he walked out. He walked out.
This person too, Niger, he walked out, but he eventually did not leave the party.
What's the name? Babangida Muazu.
Babangida Aliyu.
So it's dangerous in an election year to allow such a crisis.
There's nothing like a
and
bad
you
party.
stuck to your gun.
I think they were confident that given the crisis the country was going through, that people will not vote for.
And I think they also had it in mind that the ruling party had performed so badly,
yes,
as in economically, security-wise,
yes,
that nothing.
Of course, that was. Of course, that was also.
Nigerians were in pain.
Yes,
during the campaign.
But they also forgot that Asiwaju as a candidate had a good record, given what he had done in Lagos. That for that reason, that's the point. The PC had not made Nigerians happy. And that was why, for the first time in our history, we have the House of Reps. The ruling party did not score majority in the House of Reps. It's unheard of. But it happened in this election. Again, to tell you that that election, February 25 election, is one of the best we've ever had. No matter, they will say it's the worst. But that's the election that took away the majority that APC used to have in the House of Reps. Today, the opposition parties are in the majority. When you put all their seats together, they are more than the APC. You know, that never happened. In fact, during the PDP time, they will have two-thirds already. Fresh from the election, they will have two-thirds.
So that's why they made that law, that you cannot remove a speaker unless it's two-thirds of the House. Because they always have the figure.
Yes, that where the Beavers did.
Unless you are saying that those who did the election are grossly
in the House of Reps, in the Senate, the thing was narrower.
Yes, 58.
They have a very tiny majority.
They used to have outright. They used to have outright majority, outright, even two-thirds. But here you are in the House of Reps. The ruling party does not have majority. It has never happened.
I have a feeling that immediately the court cases ends, people will now come to tell us the truth of what they truly feel about this election. I think a lot of people are gaslighting or grandstanding because they have issues. Maybe they are because they are biased. But I'm sure immediately the Supreme Court gave the final say on this election. All these things we are saying will now come from everybody. Because those who have benefited from this election will now want to validate their own election. But for now, it's not very popular with them because they must follow the party line that it was rigged. And that will be on for the next 2-3 months or thereabouts. But really after the president is fully in charge and is been validated by the Supreme Court, all these things we are saying will now be said across all spectrum.
Those who will continue to
sell the
make
line.
this noise will continue.
If that's what they make their money from, I will not be angry.
I can guarantee that will happen. Peter Obi will not give up at this stage because if he gives up, the momentum that he's enjoying, all the hoopla that he's enjoying will evaporate. So he will want to keep
the base.
Yes, he want to keep the base, ensure that they are happy. You see, I've seen politicians told me that it's not as if he didn't know that he lost the election. But that he needs to make
this kind of
people happy. So he will tell them, no, I'm going to court, don't worry, we'll take it. He knows that he cannot take it back to the court, but he will continue to tell those people just to keep them happy.
Like one party agent knew in that collation center that day that they've already lost the election. He was shouting, he was doing any sort of tactics to stop the collation. Meanwhile, in your situation room, they would have collected the 36.
Yes.
And you'd have seen, man, we have to do something to stop it.
No, even from the night of the election, from the situation room,
Yes,
from midnight
yeah.
on election day, from the situation room, most people knew who had won the election. Most people knew. All of what we are now seeing later is just the Nigerian way of responding to this.
Yes, now.
People knew from that the day of the election.
Collation center, stage,
all the results are trickling in.
With some other political party.
The reports were trickling in and to the collation center, so they will know. It's just like Kaduna, for example. A friend of mine, and I think I've said it here, is an engineer. He's a collation, he's an agent for the APC. He called me. He said, Jide, it's like APC has lost Kaduna. He told me. And they had not announced the result. They had not announced, but he said, we lost it. We lost it. Another one called me to say, APC has lost Gombe. They had not announced at all. So they can monitor it. They can monitor. Your agents will be sending those reports. Okay, this is what we scored here. This is what we scored. Everyone can monitor. It's not through IREV alone that you can know how you perform in an election. Everybody, why do you have agents? Why do you have situation rooms?
Signed ones.
Through the situation rooms, even those off-season elections, we used to monitor them. We will know who had won. So how is this one going to be different? I can tell you, people knew by midnight, by 2 a.m. on election day, people already had an idea of who won the election. Already through their situation rooms. Because they are posting results there. real time, and they too are monitoring.
But to even what I also said, if truly they had won, with the level of social media savvy that they had, the full results would be in the public space right now. But it's not. They keep telling us.
To compute it, they try.
They ran aground.
They ran away
at a point. But when they saw the reality, they back up.
And they started abusing the person who started it.
That's how it works. Because if they had the result will be available.
The guy was a hero when he started the thing. When he got to the point when
it was obvious.
It looks like this person is ahead, they started insulting him. He had to pull it down.
It was reported.
So that's how you know how things
we
work.
can write a book about what transpired in this election. All kinds of funny things.
So, at the end of the day, the lesson to be taken from this 2023 election, when we're kind of reviewing here now and everything, it's a different norms. And it's not something that all our prediction went through. We could not envisage that APC will lose Lagos State, lose their normal strongholds, and Katsina State.
All the biggest states. APC lost all the biggest states.
And somehow they still find a way of coming second and strong
because
second.
Everywhere it was competitive. You don't have to win every state. That's what this election has shown.
Even the fallacy of those big states.
If you are competitive
across board.
That's the word.
Take 2 here, take 3 here, take 2 here. It will position you in a way that will enable you to win. And don't also forget, Kano, the votes that Ashwaju got in Kano, where the performance of PDP in Kano was very poor.
Very poor.
So despite coming second, he was still able to give Atiku a big margin.
Imagine.
That margin that he gave him, Atiku was struggling to close it down.
He couldn't.
It was
just too wide.
Because by the time you now see the performance, again in the Southwest, the PDP's performance was very poor. Even
Lagos.
In Lagos was similar to Kano. The gap again, despite coming second, the gap between him and Atiku was also wide. And Atiku was the most likely person to come second to him. So he kept expanding. And where Atiku won in the Southwest, Osun, the margin was narrow, very narrow.
10,000.
Yeah.
So these are the difference makers. You defeat a man with only 2,000 votes here, 3,000 in some places, and then in some places more than 200,000, 300,000.
You're totally annihilated.
So you can actually, you don't have to. I think if you read what Professor Jega, his analysis of this election, how he compared it to the 1979 election, it's very similar. The two elections are very similar because in those two elections, more than 2 parties did very well. GMPP did very well, Northeast, NPP dominated the Southeast, and UPN dominated the Southwest, PRP took Kano and Kaduna. They didn't have many states in the Northwest that time. Then, of course, MP dominated a lot of the northern states, like Niger, Bauchi, in those days. So, and the victory was narrow. It was a narrow victory. So you don't have to win every state. Just stay competitive. Get close to the winner.
Once there are more than 2
in your own places where you win, you'll be able to open a wide margin. You see what happened in the North Central. APC dominated North Central, winning 4 out of the 6 states. And the margins, especially against the PDP, were comfortable.
Especially in Kwara.
Comfortable. They won every local government in Kwara. And I remember when I was making the predictions, some people were sending messages that no, this governor cannot win. But sometimes people just want to mislead you. So I was looking at them. He won every local government. Every local government. He silenced Bukola Saraki and his people in that. And he repeated it in the governorship election.
Yes,
Not only in the presidential election, he won all the local
as of assembly election.
Then the governorship repeated the same
They were totally obliterated.
No, the same people who are calling me to say, look, you didn't get it right. They've not called back since then.
Maybe they lost your number.
So for you, the lesson you got from the 2023 election?
Yeah, the lesson I got is that our democracy is moving in the right direction. But like I said earlier, all this will come out in full force after the Supreme Court judgment. Because we are going to spend quality time discussing the uniqueness of the 2023 elections in the next few years to come. Because this is going to be so unique because this is the first time since 1983 that we have a truly competitive election.
Yes, very competitive.
A party that will be
all the three top parties won the same number of states.
So you have to understand that we are moving in a direction that a lot of people will see it basically as a sign of our division. But I see it as a sign of our strength. Because what we need best is for people to know that their votes will count. Because in some states, it's not popular to Nigeria, even in the US. In some states, voting Democrats is a waste of time. Or voting Republicans is a waste of your votes. I think we are getting there in Nigeria now. That you know that your vote can actually make a difference in certain states that you assume are locked up for certain candidates within the realms of a possibility. So what I've taken from this are two. One, our democracy is growing, and two, it will enforce the reality that no more can anybody just project that whatever they say will go. Now you have to work for your money, you have to work hard for your votes. Governors who normally under circumstances will just cross their legs and go to bed once they have the thing come out and spend dollars. Some have to go to church and become ushers. Just to make sure that in the old days they don't even have to. I know some governors who never bothered to even visit.
People decided their fate.
Yeah, because it got to a point that governors didn't bother to even see their campaign people. They assumed it was not important. That they have the ticket, just go there and prepare for my inauguration or my coronation, as the case may be. But this election has exposed that lie. Now governors have to go out of their way to make a difference. And that to me is the fallout that is fundamental in this election. Because once you know, and finally, our young ones, their interest in this election is phenomenal. And I pray that they will continue to move out. And so in another 2-3 electoral cycle, it's not the old people that will be determining where we go. It's the vote of the youth that will determine the direction of our country.
And the exclusively to southern part of the country.
No, I'm talking about everywhere.
We have across the country.
Yeah, because those who are making us proud are all over the country. Whether in music or in politics or in business, they're all over the country. They're all young men and women.
And finally,